What's up, gang? Welcome back to DizDad TV, and today's another reaction video. We're checking out the Disney Plus and Star Wars series Andor. This is episode 8. If you want to check out my reactions for earlier episodes in this series or other Star Wars and Marvel shows, theme park, Imagineering content, you can find that on the homepage of my channel. Links in the description below as well. Appreciate you checking that out, liking, subscribing, hanging out with me here on the channel. But if you are watching this reaction, I assume you've enjoyed Andor, and if you're enjoying Andor, I hope you've liked it half as much as I have. If you've caught any of my reactions, you know I have been thoroughly entertained to this point. Each and every episode, I'll say, loved everything about it. So many elements of this show that have just made it what it is for me, and I'm just looking forward to what the next 5 episodes hold for us this season. Kind of a quick recap of episodes 6 and 7, kind of where we've gotten to this point. You know, it came off that high from episode 6 and the mission on Aldhani. Kind of came back to earth, for lack of a better term, episode 7, as no action whatsoever in that episode, which again, totally okay with, but it was really kind of a fascinating look at that episode as we took kind of a deep dive into the Security Bureau of the Empire there on Coruscant and all the various meetings and the conversations taking place, and kind of seeing what their reaction is as they really start to take notice of some of these events happening across the galaxy and what they're going to do to try and seemingly stamp this activity out. You know, the different fines and jail terms and orders and all this that are going to take place. You know, we see kind of a firsthand experience how that plays out at a ground level. Andor heads back to Ferrix, going to visit Marva and really to kind of get her out of there and get away from all this. He has no interest in being a part of any of this still. She, of course, it was a great scene, and I absolutely fell in love with her character in that last episode, but just seeing her and her thoughts and where she was at mentally and as part of she sees herself as part of the rebellion was really kind of a fascinating scene. And again, I fell in love with her character in that episode. But we see some of the impacts at a street level of what's happening as, you know, stormtroopers have moved in, what have you. And then really kind of a big cliffhanger to end the episode, which really came out of nowhere. I was not expecting to see Andor getting shipped off to jail for 6 years or prison, what have you. We know he's not going to serve that. It would make any sense for the series, obviously, but you know, what does that mean for the series and how does it impact things? Where do we go? I'm really curious to see how that plays out. It definitely seems like that potentially could be our episode 9 climax of this, you know, 3-episode arc potentially. I guess we'll kind of see with this episode today how that plays out. But you know, all that being said, I am really looking forward to this. So let's go ahead and check out episode 8. Oh wow, are they getting shipped off?
What's Narkina 5? I'm a tourist!
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. Hey, it's our favorite guy. And looks like he has a pretty monotonous job. Wow, could not do that. Whatever it is he's doing. It looks like he has visitors coming though. God, look at the look of terror on his face, and for good reason. And can we talk about this tie? You knew they were going to have to meet at some point. It was inevitable.
At the Bureau of Standards for less than a month, and you filed 5 false inquiries.
6, actually.
I wasn't counting this morning.
So there's been a little bit of a time jump here. We know, I guess in a few weeks maybe, for all these inquiries, and he's got a one-track mind. He is not going to stop searching for Andor.
Trying to clear my name.
One would think you'd want to leave Ferrix as far behind as possible.
What?
Not him. Is this like a Marvel crossover? It looks like the Raft, or a whole bunch of rafts.
I'm listening.
I am listening.
The thief was a local named Cassian Andor. He was wanted for the murder of
He is a popular guy.
to a person we've named Axis because of his centrality to what we believe to be an...
It's an interesting nickname they've given to Luthen.
If someone there is talking, we need to be listening.
It's a large investment.
It sounds like Big Brother, doesn't it?
Drill down, find Andor, and get a hunt started.
She is moving up the Imperial food chain, isn't she? Now, why are they all barefoot? What's the deal with the shoes? Look at those boots. Nobody's gonna jump out, are they?
Minimally invasive enforcement techniques.
Minimally invasive enforcement techniques. Oh, it's the floor. And their feet, that's why. It makes sense with the boots now. Must be specially protected.
That was level 1 of 3. Our floors.
I would not want to see level 3.
Good luck to you.
Talk about your welcoming committee.
I will inform the Bureau of Standards that you were of service to the Empire today.
Oh, are they not going to team up?
You just said it. Can one ever be too aggressive in preserving order?
They are of like mind for sure.
Raise the alarm one more time, and it won't be me you're speaking to.
I did not expect that response. I thought for sure they were going to work together. But you know he's not going to give up. He's going to go off half-cocked solo if he has to. He will not give this up.
Zaprod, if I have to use it, you remember it. Yes? Yes?
Yes, definitely.
Right, engaged. 5-2, you have the floor.
Other deliveries waiting.
It looks like he's being very observant. Potential escape plans?
Move.
Hold your position!
Step on there and stop.
They have got them programmed. No pun intended, right? Whew. Looks like fun, right?
7 men, each table. My name is Kino Loy.
Oh crap, I didn't know he was in this.
The 49 men.
Did we know Andy Serkis was going to be in this?
You play against all the other tables in this room.
Wow, that's how they keep him in line.
The other rooms.
Obviously, this is how, I don't know what they're building, but this is how you build an empire, and they have every table competing against each other, and I guess each room on a floor competing against each other, and then each floor in all these different levels.
Don't ever slow up my line. Table 5.
Oh, he's so good.
Melchi's right. We're wasting time. Jem thinks Kino's in charge. No, new guy.
God, if jail wasn't stressful enough, or prison, like having them compete like this in this setting, can just not imagine that what that does to your psyche.
As ever, the least productive table will be disciplined.
Oh my gosh. So what are they making? This looks, I mean, it looks like an engine block, or obviously this is parts for something for the Empire. I can't tell what this is supposed to be. It's a look of sheer terror right there.
Not for me.
No, I'll have hers.
Oh, gross. What do you call that?
Make it 3.
I'm fine, thank you.
Mon is working.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm not drinking anything with worms in it.
The Academy Firebrand. 2 squigs again, sir. How things change, eh?
Wow, that was a subtle, under her breath comment.
You're drinking squigs.
Oh, I've lost my taste for it.
It's disgusting.
That's the point.
It is disgusting. You're right.
I should find Dad. Nice to see you again.
What about the money I've made?
She's acted awfully weird these last 2 episodes. The way she's been at these, obviously a kid at these parties, I wouldn't want to be there either, but something's off about her. God, just look at all their faces. The acting in the scenes is great. Wow. He's getting a first-hand glimpse of how big this place is, and these are all the levels they're competing with on a daily basis.
Without limit. You're doing nothing wrong. What is there to fear?
Well, I'm fearing your definition of wrong.
If it doesn't affect him, he doesn't care. It's a great attitude.
Sensors in the floor. 2 men in 1 cell. It's an instant fry.
Pull up!
No pressure to get into your room quick, is there?
Winner gets taste with their food. Top table wins flavor. Last place gets fried.
So what are you eating if you don't get taste or flavor? Does not sound appetizing whatsoever.
It's been a tough month here waiting for news. Can't help but wonder what people are saying.
Okay, so we know it's been about a month. We're getting our first real kind of time jump here. We know it's been about a month since Aldani, I guess. What are you waiting on? Oh gosh. He got that one close. Good grief.
So this is where you met?
No, we'd already been married a year.
Oh, wow. They got married at 15?
Speaking of, have you seen Tay?
No, he left. He said he had an early morning.
She wasn't quite done talking to him, was she? Well, it's interesting to hear, like, he's assisting her. Whether he fully knows what he's assisting her with, I'm curious, but he's giving her some help with the finances at least. 30 shifts later. So it's been 30 days. So again, I'm kind of guesstimating this is about 60 days post Aldani in the mission. Yeah, I'm still curious what they're building, but this is like watching a NASCAR pit crew, isn't it?
You got a chance of winning the shift today.
Yeah, you want to make sure you get your taste in your food, right?
Your breathing sounds weak. You got dizzy again.
Do not kill her off. Please do not kill her off.
She wanted to see if the tunnel under the hotel was still open.
Why?
So the rebellion can sneak in and take them by surprise.
I love her. I absolutely love this character. She didn't care how old she is, but she is a rebel at heart. Oh, hey. We knew she'd be looking for Andor, didn't we?
Where did you go?
Oh, good deal. She made it out. I was curious because we saw her there in Aldani just riding down that mountain, but beyond that, we didn't know what happened to her, so I'm glad to see she's okay.
This is a fight to the death, Vel.
Wow.
The struggle will always come first. We take what's left.
God, what a terrible way to live.
You love me because I show you what you need to see.
You see, on a personal level, what the Empire can even do to relationships and how deep-seated it is in people's minds. And Cinta Abbas, she's putting all personal feelings and relationships aside, and the rebellion is what she's there for. She's focused on the Empire above and beyond anything else, above her happiness.
I'm not sure that's a good idea. It's been off for a while.
It's urgent.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea, because aren't they monitoring now? Yeah, this seems like a really bad idea. Because I feel certain in that meeting they talked about monitoring all communications on the planet.
Leia?
Look at all those goodies in that shop.
I just need you to wake up. There's a lot to do.
She may be his assistant in the shop, but as far as the rebellion is concerned, she's far from it. She's got a strong voice. That shot looks familiar, doesn't it? Going back to, was it episode 1? No, he's not going to do this, is he? Ah, he did it. He obviously had enough. Oh, I knew it. They were tracking, and they wasted no time finding him. That guy was intense. Oh, I see X-Wing. X-Wings, I should say.
The garrison at Aldani. Was that you?
Oh, it's Saw.
Let's agree. It was a masterpiece.
Wow, no, I'm sure.
Some interesting banter there. Neither wants to admit who's doing what.
Andor Krieger.
He's been probing the Imperial power station at Spellhouse. He's found a weakness in the defenses.
Sounds like the next big mission, doesn't it?
Whatever our final version of success looks like, there's no chance any of us can make it real on our own.
Wow, this is interesting. You really get a snapshot here of how fractured the rebellion is. It's all these different groups, mostly with the same goal, but different ways of going about it between these two and even Mon Mothma. Maybe the end goal is a little different, but it's interesting to kind of get this snapshot of kind of what we're dealing with. They're not unified in any sense of the term just yet.
No sale today, Luthen. Good luck with Andor Krieger.
Forrest Whitaker is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. It adds even more context when you put this in with Rogue One and just the brief snapshot, if we got of him in that film, and seeing this scene adds a whole lot more context.
What are you doing? Get him out of here. Quickly.
You two, with...
Well played. Well played. It's a simple looking chair, but this is not going to be a simple meeting. Is there an Imperial probe droid in there? Definitely seems like this is a well-oiled team now, doesn't it? And I can't tell with Andor, just these last couple scenes here in the prison. Has he just mentally given up? Or is he just acquiescing and trying to play the long game here? Or what's he up to? I know there were several scenes. He seems obviously dejected, and there's the episode. There's several scenes where you can just see the anguish on his face and just some of the mental things he's going through. But I also saw, more so I guess when he first got there, you see him studying. I don't know if it was studying an escape route. We see him eyeing cameras and the guard activity. So again, I don't know how he gets out of there. That's going to be a big deal for him to get out of there, because you see, again, we have that Marvel crossover there with the Raft-like prison and all those prisons there on that planet. I don't know how you escape that, and maybe the Empire is the ones that helps him escape. And it's funny, they're looking for him, and they have him, and they don't know it, which is a bit ironic in this episode. But an all-around, again, great episode. Again, I hope you all are enjoying this as much as I am. It's just so many good things. And this episode, these last two episodes were absolutely great and followed a very similar pattern to what we had, with episodes 1 and 2, episodes 4 and 5. And we got, similar with 7 and 8. It definitely feels like we're building towards something. I have to assume episode 9 is going to be some kind of event. And I'm hoping they don't disappoint. I don't think they're going to. And what that is, I have no clue. But again, these last two episodes have just been great. And that meeting there, great to see Forrest Whitaker. We knew he was coming, and he's just such a great actor. And good to see that character and get that background. We met him in Rogue One. We learned a little bit about him, but even just this short, it was probably a 2-minute conversation. It gained so much insight. At least initially, I'm sure we're going to see him even more, but got some insight into kind of why he was kind of off on his own. And we see so much in this episode, again, that brief conversation, and we've seen it even too earlier in the last episode with Mon Mothma and Luthen. The rebellion is far from a unified front at this point. I don't know if I'd call them fractured, because they're all kind of separate rebellion groups, but it seems like they all have a similar goal. Some maybe saw probably a little different than others, and the methods that they want to go about it completely different. And again, far from unified. And it's very interesting to see that, and see that they still, as a group, as a people, as an idea, they still have a lot to work through to unify, to eventually get to that point where we have a true rebellion of people across multiple teams working together. So that was very interesting. One of many interesting scenes in this episode, as again throughout this entire series. But again, no action in this episode, unless you want to call getting shocked in that prison action. But just the storytelling, it really is mind-blowing how different this series is, and as a drama in Star Wars, for me, how great it is. Just so many great characters and sequences and dialogue. Again, great moments in this episode as well, conversations. That conversation with Luthen and Saw, it seems like that mission is, maybe that's our season finale potentially. It sounds like a pretty big deal. That doesn't seem like something that's going to happen next episode. That needs some planning. So I would hazard to guess what Luthen has in mind. That might be our episode 12. So I'll be curious there. And episode 9, again, we've got to see Andor get out of this prison at some point. And we know multiple people are looking for him. The Empire is looking for him, and the Rebellion's looking for him. And going to be really interesting. And just kind of a parting thought, talking about just the overall weight of this show. And one thing that really hit me, it was against another short scene, but two characters. We seen Senta and Vel there in this, I don't know if it was a bar, tavern, little cafe, whatever it was, looking for Andor there in Ferrix, and just hearing their little interaction there, and kind of hearing on a personal level what the Empire is. And we see it with several characters, but hearing on a personal level what the Empire is doing to them, and just they're basically, well, at least Senta is, putting personal relationships aside for this cause. Like, it's the rebellion, well, it affects all these big things, but for them on that drilled down personal level, their relationship has taken a side seat to the rebellion. And it's just, it's heartbreaking to hear some of this stuff. And Marva, again, I love that character. I hope they do not kill her off. I was upset to see that she was not feeling good, but it's awesome to hear. She's, again, doing her own little rebellion activities. She's there scouting out that hotel. But again, another great episode. I'm just looking forward to seeing what comes next, and really excited for it. So I appreciate you guys joining me as always. I hope you'll join me for the next episode, which will be episode 9. But until then, I will see you next week for the next reaction in Andor, episode 9.